But look at who Foles has been coached by the last 5 years. Shitty coaches, horrible organizations. How do we know that if he had stayed in Philadelphia with Doug, that they don't do more? It's a question, and I agree. I think I saw somebody say, we'll never know, man. Okay? We'll never know what that would have been like if Foles was given the keys. But you had invested so much money in Carson Wentz. This is another mistake and a misstep of Howie. Instead of letting that contract play itself out, they jumped the gun in Philly like they did in Los Angeles with Jared Goff. In hindsight, let's play a game here. Howie kept the wrong guy because he ended up getting rid of both anyway. What would have happened if Howie had given the keys to Foles instead of dealing him to Jacksonville? I wonder what would have happened. I wonder what, because the organization, hey, guys, sometimes when you go to a different football team and you go to a different coaching staff and you go to it's like going to a different country. Terminology is different. You got to reprove yourself. There's not as talented people around you, especially when you're coming off a Super Bowl champion team like that. There's so many different dynamics, shittier coaching. And I've said this to you. How about this, Gigi? I've said this to you about Nick Foles. Watch this. Well, since Nick Foles has left, he was coached by Doug Marrone and Matt Nagy. Matt Nagy just got fired. So he really hasn't been. And in Chicago, there's no talent there. Chicago's got one of the worst rosters in the league. So he went to Doug Marrone. And am I supposed to really believe, hey, look, man, I think Doug Peterson's got a task ahead of him like nobody's business at building a culture down there. They haven't had a decent culture down there since Tom Coughlin. And I mean Tom Coughlin the first time around when they drafted Tony Baselli #1 overall. That's the last time Mark Brunell was a starting quarterback there. That's the last time that franchise had any kind of moxie to it. Well, the Bortles year, they went into Pittsburgh and made it to the AFC Championship game. But then they had to retool by giving contracts to guys and they didn't want to do it. Okay? But look at who Foles has been coached by the last 5 years. Shitty coaches, horrible organizations. How do we know that if he had stayed in Philadelphia with Doug, that they don't do more? It's a question, and I agree. I think I saw somebody say, we'll never know, man. Okay? We'll never know what that would have been like if Foles was given the keys. But you had invested so much money in Carson Wentz. This is another mistake and a misstep of Howie. Instead of letting that contract play itself out, they jumped the gun in Philly like they did in Los Angeles with Jared Goff. And what happened? They put themselves in a corner. If they hadn't given, do you agree? If Howie hadn't, Xander too, I don't know. If Howie hadn't given Carson Wentz that contract extension, I bet you he would have dealt Wentz because he could have. He would have been on that rookie deal. But because they gave him that contract extension, it put him in a corner. He had to keep that because that's dead cap money on the Eagle cap. And he didn't want to have to. They ate $35 million when they sent him to Indianapolis. No, you can't hate on Foles, man. There's no hating on Foles. What he did, dude, do you know what that guy's going to always be able to do to people and to anybody who ever lives? Not only did I win a Super Bowl, but I was the most valuable player in that game against Tom Brady. And I've got a winning record versus Tom Brady in matchups. Dude, how many? Peyton Manning doesn't have that. Okay? Peyton Manning doesn't have a winning record versus Tom Brady. How many quarterbacks in the NFL have winning records versus Tom Brady? Eli Manning and Nick Foles. Why do you think he talks about those two all the time? It eats at him. You know what? See, guys like Tom Brady don't look at the 7 Super Bowl wins. They look at the 3 that got away. I lost to those 2 guys. Hey, and all 3 had to put Super Bowl MVP performances together to beat Brady, and they did. The guys that beat Brady, Foles and Eli, have 3 MVP awards in the Super Bowl. Hey, I kind of get Eli, but Nick, man, hey, I'm serious. I say this to you, and again, I don't mean to repeat myself. If Jeffries catches that pass in New Orleans, I think the Eagles stick with Foles. Because that would have been 2 straight NFC championship games that you got to in 2 years. There's no way you deal that. Hey, go ahead. Go ahead. No. It would have been the decision that was. See, what's this? I think if Foles stays in Philly, I think you guys win more. And I'm going to give you the scenario. Belichick had that same situation. I don't know if you guys are fans of the Indiana Jones series. That knight's in there in The Last Crusade, and he goes like this when he's looking for the Holy Grail. And he's got the Holy Grail there, right? And the knight looks at him and says, choose wisely. And that guy looks at the real shiny one, Carson Wentz. Or in New England, Drew Bledsoe, the guy drinks it and he kills him. He takes the plain Jane cup, Tom Brady, Nick Foles, drinks it, and it's the right cup. That's a decision that was made in New England, and that's a decision that wasn't made in Philly. How he chose wrong. Because he went with the shiny cup, Carson Wentz. High draft choice. Foles, what was Foles taken? Like in the 5th round or something like that? Right? Oh, William. I hate William. You want to know something? I hated Jeffries after that drop pass, and I wasn't even covering the Eagles then. I said, that guy sucks. That guy sucks. That guy sucks. You had it. I thought you were driving. I said, I remember going, if they win this game, they're going to get to the Super Bowl again. Okay? He was the 3rd? Okay. They moved up twice to take Carson. Had to keep him. Absolutely. But get this. Think about this, Showtime. The year previous in New England, the Patriots gave Drew Bledsoe $117 million, with 21 of it guaranteed. That year, Mo Lewis knocks out Bledsoe. They put in Brady. He wins the playoff game. Belichick pulls Bledsoe and puts the 6th rounder in. And they win it. That took cannolis. That's cannolis. Not grabbing the shiny cup. That quarterback decision is the most difficult decision and the most impossible to evaluate. That's why we sit here every day talking about it, because you know why? It drives me crazy when I look at the quarterback position and I can't get it right. I look at a defensive tackle or an offensive tackle, it doesn't take long to know if a guy's great or not. Wide receiver, separation, guys a playmaker. How long did it take you to know that Randy Moss was a great football player? A game? How long did it take for you to know that Shady McCoy was going to be a special, or Brian Westbrook? It took you no time. That quarterback position, it's like a golfer. They go through these putting streaks. Finding a consistent guy and these legendary consistent guys is impossible. For whatever reason, the evaluation is off the charts hard. Look at Baker Mayfield today. The number 1 overall pick was traded to Carolina basically for a bag of Skittles and a 5th-round pick. 4 years removed from being the number 1 overall selection. Number 1 overall selection. And it's a contingent pick at that it could move to a 4th-rounder. Big deal. Big deal. Look at the value and the money that you invested in Mayfield. You paid his entire rookie contract off. You're eating 12 of the 18 million. Just to get him out of the building. You talk about lack of return on investment. Cleveland gives you the greatest example of that. Seth goes, it's super hard to evaluate the quarterback position. Like, I'm great with wide receivers, DBs, but not the best with quarterbacks. 2014 Eagles were 8-3 when Foles got hurt. Then Sanchez came in and went 2-3 and missed the playoffs. 5th-round pick. He was a 5th-round pick? Okay. 5th-round pick, Kenneth, right. He's dealt that for the 5th pick. For a 5th-round pick. Number 1 overall. Jesus, criminy. They were Here's a good point by Xander. Here's a really great point by Xander. Xander Krause with a great take. Think of cultures for a second. They were 1-31 before the dude shows up. Shitty coaching decisions, a ton of quarterbacks that had gone in there, the Johnny Manziel nightmare. Baker brought some settling to the organization. I know he's quirky. I don't like some of the shit he does either. I don't like the battles that he has with the media. I don't like the calling out of the medical staff. I don't like him doing that to Hugh Jackson on the other side when Hugh was with Marvin Lewis. And I don't like any of that. I think he's got a lot of high school quarterback in him. But he did settle the room. There is something to say about that. You're 1-31. He goes in there and they start winning ball games. Now, I think that had a lot to do with John Dorsey also going in the building. And I think that had a lot to do with John Dorsey's ability to be able to pick talent. John Dorsey's the same guy that brought Patrick Mahomes to the attention of Andy Reid and put a lot of those guys in Kansas City that you see playing today. Tyreek Hill is a John Dorsey guy. Myles Garrett in Cleveland is a John Dorsey guy. John Dorsey can spot talent. That progressive stuff, I'm probably going to go with him. I don't begrudge a guy who makes money. Tim Couch, number 1, 2. Manziel, a 1st-round pick. What was the other guy's name? They had the kid from Oklahoma State too, right? Brandon Weeden. Is that his name? Didn't they draft a quarterback in the 1st round? Brandon Weeden. Does that sound right? He was an Oklahoma State guy. He sucked out loud. They missed on everything there. And Baker did settle the room. He did. So getting that quarterback position right is the most difficult thing that you can possibly do. Difficult, man. And by the way, like I started the show, I think it's a good thing. All right. It's not quite a list. I've got 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games that are going to tell us about Jalen Hurts and about how far your Eagles go this year. Here they are. Washington, here, 1 loss. Washington, I think it's going to be a very tough game. I think you split this. Minnesota, week 2. It's at home. By the way, you want to hear something? Vegas likes the Lions in 4 in the opener versus the Eagles on the road, Ford Field. Vegas likes the Lions with the 4 points. Just saying. Just saying. Okay. Minnesota, do you win? Yes or no? Xander thinks that Minnesota is one of the dark horse teams in the league this year. I happen to agree. Oh, Cole, Vegas likes the Lions in 4 in the opener. That's not BS. One thing you don't have to worry about, Big Silz, with that. I don't bullshit you, guy. With the 4, though, Chris. With the 4. They got the lines out already for the first week. You can go look at it. What if the Lions have an epic and win 7 games? Oh, my God, have an ultimate shit show and win 7 games? Wow, they'll burn that place down, man. Agreed. Vikings could be decent. We lose the Vikings. It's at home. I say it's close. But, hey, see, I think Minnesota could put 31 up on you. I don't know if Philly can hang with that and put 30 up. I don't see Jalen Hurts being a 30-point quarterback per game. So your defense is going to have to play great. Most defenses play great at home. So 28, 27, 28, 26, something in there. I'm going to give you the Minnesota game. Okay? Oh, it's 4.5? Okay. Vegas likes the Lions. This morning it was 4. I heard somebody on Fox Bet say it. You think Minnesota puts up 31 on a revamped D? I do. You think change is good. I think stability's better. I think adding a whole bunch of new guys is not always the best thing. Having continuity is the best. You got the same people back on offense in Minnesota. That's an advantage. Your advantage is you're at home. Your advantage is at home. I'm going to say Minnesota, you win that game because you are at home. Dallas. Last year, you got crushed in both. Okay? Nobody said Lions over Philly. The Eagles are favored by now 4.5 in week 1. Dallas. Do you split? Do you split or does Dallas take both? I hate to tell you this, man. Xander says Jefferson's going to – I forgot about that dynamic. Justin Jefferson comes to town. And Xander thinks he's going to put up 150 and 2 touchdowns. Oh, shit. Oh, wait a minute. I got to rethink this now. Hold on here. I forgot about the Jefferson factor. Holy cow. I forgot the Jefferson factor. I take the Viking Silz. I got 50 on it. You're sweeping Dallas this year? No way. I'll say split. I'm going to come back to the Vikings game. Put a star by that. Way to go, Xander. Okay. Packers. Absolutely no way. And it's at your place. Aaron Rodgers throws for 4. Aaron Rodgers is going to put 40 points on that defense. The Colts. That's at Lucas Oil. The Colts. What happens with you ain't beating the Packers, bro? Are you nuts, Jones? Get out of here. Last year, oh my God, come on, man. Get the hell out of here. You think you're beating Aaron Rodgers? When you haven't beaten a winning team in 2 years. This year you're going to beat the Packers. Push. Okay. Slay is 31. So a 31-year-old corner is going to cover Justin Jefferson. Rodgers is not dropping 40 with no wide receivers. Really? Really? Okay, I'll take that. That's because they've always had shitty receivers in Green Bay, right? They've drafted 2 first-round draft choices at wide receiver in 42 years. 42 years they've had 2 first-round wide receivers. They don't believe in spending first-round draft choices like your boy does on wideouts because you know why? They got the freaking quarterback to make them better. I know. That's dumb. Dude, that guy lost Devontae Adams last year, and I think they spanked the team. All the receivers were out, and he put up 39 on somebody last year. You crazy, man? Plus, Aaron Jones running the ball, and they're better on defense. We'll see. And plus, your guys got to beat the Packers, too. Packers defense is better than the Eagle defense. Stars Ship Gang says, yes, Silz, we're going to beat the Packers. Believe it. Okay. Not here, though. How about the Colts? Let's get to the Colts because the Packer game's a fantasy. Okay? The Colts. Can you beat the Colts at Lucas Oil? I'm going over the tough games in the schedule here. Blasphemy. No, blasphemy is he's a great leader.